Everyone has the capabilities of acting in narcissistic ways. However, those with empathy don't do it with malicious intentions. When it comes to someone with the narcissist personality disorder, they would need at least 5 of the 9 criteria in the DSM-5 in order to be classed as on the spectrum of the disorder. So it would depend on what 5 to 9 criteria they have as a person, what is their top 2 criteria that they show within their behaviour. And one of those criteria is that arrogant and haughty behaviour. And the narcissist arrogance can come across as confidence, because within their arrogance, they are unpleasantly proud of who they are as a person. However, they put on that charismatic charm to lull people into that false sense of security, because they will sell you an illusion of who you'd like them to be. They will raise you up to then leave you questioning and doubting yourself. With a confident person, they learn on life's journey that they make mistakes, but the more they work towards something, the more they practice something, the better they personally get at it, and they raise other people up along the way. Narcissistic people, arrogant people, seek to pull other people down to feel better about themselves, which is to do with the characteristics, the criteria of their disorder. So when it comes to a narcissist and signs that someone has high traits of arrogance or someone has traits of arrogance, they are usually trying to prove themselves as superior to others, as better than others. And one confusing way that a narcissistic person can do this is they get you to a point where you don't want to ask for them for help. You don't want to ask for them for support, because they make you feel bad for asking them for help, for asking them for the support. They hold it against you. They make you feel like you have to be eternally grateful. Whenever you don't do something for them, they bring it up. What about when I did this for you? They don't do things out of the goodness of their own heart. They don't give for giving's sake. They give so later on they can take. So you might get to a point where you no longer ask them for favours, and then they get offended that you haven't gone to them to ask for the help and support, because they like you having to ask them, because that makes them feel superior to you. So then when you don't ask them, this criticises their sense of superiority. So they get incredibly offended when you don't ask them. They don't get offended in a way that it's because they wanted to help you out. They wanted to be there for you. They're upset that you couldn't go to them. They're offended because they can't hold one over on you, because they can't feel like they're more important than you because of their exaggerated sense of their abilities. They believe they're better than you. So the fact that you haven't gone to them for help has questioned their abilities, and they usually then find a way to pull you down. So whatever you didn't go to them for to ask for help with, they will put you down over how you've done it. They will be stood there arrogantly saying, well, I'd have personally, if it was me, I'd have just done this, and then it would have been sorted a lot sooner. They will find a way to criticise your approach to it so that they can regain their sense of superiority, which shows that they're unpleasantly proud of themselves, they're unpleasantly proud of their abilities by discussing how they would do something better than you in a format sometimes where it's seeming like they're trying to help you. Next time you could do this, when what they're actually doing is pulling you to shreds on your approach to something, because they believe they're better and they believe that they'd have done it superior to how you have done it. Yet when they do something, if they do it wrong, they don't see the mistakes they make. Narcissists tend to be able to put their hands to anything because they have that exaggerated sense in their own abilities, yet they bodge everything they do. They don't finish off anything that they do. Tasks are often left uncompleted or put off till next week, next year, because they believe that they can turn their hand to anything, but because they haven't practiced over a prolonged period of time, however long that time takes from person to person, to be skilled in one specific area, they're not all that great at everything, yet they'll not see the weakness. If they make a mistake, if they're trying to put a TV up and they've no idea how to do this, if they make a mistake, they will carry on bodging it until they can make it look to what they think is an acceptable standard. And you are not allowed to say something. You will have to be eternally grateful for their bodge job. They will not need to phone anybody for help because they will have it under control. They will know what they're doing. However, if the tables are turned and you're trying to do something and you're struggling with it, they'll be telling you before you even start, oh, you can't do that. You need to phone somebody up to do that. Yet when you do phone somebody up to do that, they'll be saying, well, I could have done that for you. Yet if they do it for you, they bodge it and then blame you for not phoning somebody up in the first place. So there is no winning with a narcissistic person, and there's definitely no winning with an arrogant person. When they are doing something and they do get it wrong, they will flat out refuse to admit any form of fault. A bad workman always blames their tools, and a narcissist will always blame everything and everybody around them for the mistakes that they make. An arrogant person can regularly make arrangements because they believe they're superior, because they have that exaggerated sense of their abilities. They believe they can be everywhere and do everything and show everybody how great they are. And then it comes to the time in doing it, they don't actually want to do it, so they will break the arrangement. Yet because they don't want to be held accountable for breaking that arrangement, they will find a way to shift the blame over to you for why they broke that arrangement. And it can be something as simple as nipping to the shop on the way home to pick up a loaf of bread, and they forget and they walk through the door and it's, oh, have you got the bread? Well, you didn't remind me. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't realise I had it. Well, you don't need to remind me. Well, I didn't. Well, we don't need to argue about it. Don't want to argue about it. And they'll go stomping off and you're left in like a world of wonder of what on earth has just gone off. You just simply asked, or you might not have even asked them. They might have said, oh, don't worry about that. I will pick up a loaf on the way home. Don't worry yourself, I'll sort it. Yet when they get home, you're the one that's left feeling guilty. You're the one that's left feeling bad because they forgot something, because they won't admit fault and they won't apologise for how they speak to you. They won't apologise for how they've treated you, yet they will expect you to apologise to them. And it is because they are very argumentative people. Arrogant people can be some of the most argumentative people you will ever meet because they're trying to avoid being called out on a mistake. They're trying to keep their sense of superiority, yet they will come at you and claim that they don't want to argue with you to confuse you. You can be going out somewhere and a narcissist may or may not like their outfit. However, whatever you're wearing, they're going to seek reason to put you down over your outfit. And they might say, what are you wearing that for? And you might just turn around and go, well, what are you wearing that for? And then they're just going to turn around and say, well, I didn't want to cause a mass argument. I was only asking you a question. But it's the tone in voice in which they ask it. And we can all sometimes get our tone of voice wrong, depending on life's situations and circumstances. However, with genuine people, you can have a conversation to work it out. With a narcissistic person, you are going to be disrespected, you are going to be put down, you are going to be criticised, you are going to be blamed, shamed, judged, you are going to be made to feel guilty so that they can feel better about who they are. Not all, but most arrogant people can be very pushy, very loud, very in your face. The grandiose type. The vulnerable, the fragile narcissist will be more covert, they'll be more quiet in their pushiness of others. They can be extremely demanding. They always want to be in control, even if they drive you around the houses to be in control. A bit like a car journey with them. They will claim to know where they're going when they've got no clue where they're going, but you'll not be allowed to direct them into where they're going. Yet when they take a wrong turn, it will be your fault for not directing them, which they didn't want you directing them in the first place. You cannot win with them. Yet when you're driving them somewhere, they will be putting you down over your driving, they will be criticising you, they will be tutting at you, they will be doing all they can to pull you down so they can feel superior. They're allowed to criticise you, but you're not allowed to criticise them. They can be some of the most overbearing people you can ever meet, or they can be some of the most sulkiest people you can ever meet. They're going to be very stubborn people, very selfish people, because to a narcissist, to an arrogant person, they're superior. Their needs always come before anybody else's needs, to the expense of other people's needs. We all have needs, we're all important in our own right. However, narcissistic people take it to the extreme where they will punish and hurt and use others, exploit others to get their needs met, with a lack of empathy to care for how their behaviour, their treatment of others affects that other person. If anyone has any signs they've noticed of the narcissist, arrogant and haughty behaviour, please do add those into the comments. If you are dealing with this kind of person, the best thing you can do is go no contact, which isn't always possible, in which case it needs to be limited contact and grey rock. If you're looking for more understanding and help overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you are new to the channel and you find the information helpful, please do subscribe. And if you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the description. Go out there, create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.